So I want to talk about how is your connection to God? What is my connection to God? We look around, I can see the handiwork in nature and animals and reproduction and circle of life. When I was a young child, I never thought about God, literally, until they introduced me to religion. And then I had this thing, and I reached out, and I always wanted to talk to God and hear back. And I prayed like they taught me to, and I wanted to get to know Jesus like they told me. And really, for my entire life, it's been a one way conversation. I wonder if that's the same for you. If it is, bear with me for a few minutes and we'll explore that idea because I think I learned something from someone who puts it into very good perspective. Pretty much our whole time here, we've been told that we're in the end of times, the last days, and the wars are coming and the famine and the stuff. And, I never really believed that. I never figured there was a date a pastor would talk about in the 80s or 90s. It just didn't like, nah, it's not true. Well, and clearly it hasn't been because we're still here. But something's definitely disconnected us from, at least how I see it, from what created this place and what created us. And I want to propose that it probably is a conversation I had on a live stream a couple of times with Smurfer Girl Whatevs that the reign of Jesus has already come and gone. And we are in what the Bible calls the little season in Revelation 20. And I'll put that in there so you can see what it is we're talking about. But if my whole life or your whole life, you've tried to reach out, whether it's through your heart space or your thinking or your speech, to connect with Creator God and never really got an answer, never really got feedback. Maybe you see a small miracle in here or there, or you pray and something happened good. It could be, but the vast majority of my experience has been that this place is absent of God. And if we are in the little season and Jesus' thousand-year reign is come and gone, that would explain why. I mean, right there. And then from a rational standpoint, if we look at architecture that couldn't have been built in the times it was because we didn't have the technology, these buildings that you're looking at were allegedly built in the 1800s. I'm not going to go into each one because you can go to John Levi's channel or you can go to Quantum of Conscious channel. You can go to a lot of channels and you can find this information of who built them and when, apparently, with donkeys and pulleys and rope. And it just doesn't add up. But what would add up, in my mind, would be that the, the reign of peace was here. The place was electrically charged through the air, free of energy, peace and prosperity. Everybody was happy. And then after that thousand years reign, they loose Satan from the pit for a little season. And it is completely believable to me. It makes so much sense and resonates with me that we live in that little season. And there's not a lot of details. I searched for 2 hours trying to find extra biblical texts, trying to find biblical scholars that speak on it, and they don't because I think they don't know. And I think one of the coolest tricks that the Satan could ever play, or the devil, or whatever you call it, or even the dark energy, I mean, call it what you want, but one of the coolest tricks it could ever do was to convince humans that they were in the time of tribulation, that Jesus hadn't come, and they would act in a way that would be different than how they would act if they knew that Jesus had already come and gone, and all it is you versus the devil until whenever this thing winds down. So it's something that's been on my mind for the past 10 days. And I wanted to share. It's hard to make a video about it. I've tried many times and I've come up way short. And hopefully this one doesn't suck. But I'd love to know your comments. I would also like to know, did you hear it all? Are we in the little season? Are we not in the little season? But thank you guys for watching. Hope you all have a great day.